From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. Hello, and welcome to episode 183 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. We're recording today on Saturday, June 8, 2024. I'm Warren.
I'm John Dyer.
Karin Kiwan.
And I'm Sally Kunzas.
The one that gets better looking just like I do every day. Absolutely beautiful. Welcome to episode 183. Coming up in this episode, we have announcements. Then we continue our journey through the Samsung One UI. In our app of the week, we take a look at Audify. And with that, we would be coming to the end of this week's episode. Sally, my man, better looking every day, just like I am. You know, two dogs in a pond. What's up with you?
Well, I'm doing great. And of course, way better than yesterday, though yesterday was the perfect version of myself. But today is always much better, just like you do, my friend. And how are you?
I am great. And frankly, it's nice to hear you sounding better. I'm assuming that that cold has let go of the hold that it had on you.
Yeah, the cold is gone now. The weather is super hot. It's like 30 degrees Celsius, and it's really killing me these days.
You know, it's everywhere. Here it's hot too. I think yesterday we were, believe it or not, I think we were like 86 degrees. I haven't even bothered to check as to what it will be today. But yeah, summer is coming to shine, and it's an early summer. We'll see what will happen. John, what's going on?
I'm doing good. Just a pretty typical week. We are getting ready to go on a little vacation. It's in a beach in North Carolina. We're going there for 3 days. We live in Virginia, and we live 20 minutes from Virginia Beach, but it's not a vacation if you don't cross state lines. So we drive about an hour south to go to a different beach.
Well, I see it this way. It's like going to the place where everyone goes or whatever. Because what's the name of that place in North Carolina? Is it North Carolina or is it South Carolina? I know there's a popular...
The Outer Banks.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I've never been there. But so, people like to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you? How was your week?
Well, my week has been great. Not so much. I kind of got busy doing the things that I needed to, catch up with. And then, of course, yesterday I did something different, going out to mow my lawn. And I decided to say, hey, I told my little girl, I said, check this thing. I'm going to show you something. I had her try my new lawnmower. And you know what? She's loving it. In 10 minutes, she was done. Mowing that, because it's so nice and light and so easy to push. Something that perhaps would be taking me like 30 minutes or, whatever. She was done in like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, that's great. Beautiful. So
how much did you pay her for that?
About $10. Well, it's very easy, cheesy peasy kind of thing, so it was good. It was good. Pretty girl, Karin, what's up with you, my dear?
Well, I'm fighting hot weather. Actually, it is
Don't fight it. Don't fight it. That's food.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You don't like
actually,
food?
No, I don't like hot weather and the fruits of the summer as well. So I don't care about them. But actually, it is reaching about 33 degrees, which is not something that we are much used to here, because it's usually not reaching this degree, except in like rare situation or rare times, and especially during June. Like we are still in the beginning of June. However, it had reached 33 degrees. I hope it will become better. It is expected that tomorrow things will be slightly better. I hope so. And I hope that this will be the last heat wave for this summer.
You know, summer's here, and it's a beautiful thing. I like it sometimes, but you know, sometimes it gets too hot, and so I understand where you're coming from. But the only thing that consoles me is that if we don't have it, we don't have food, and I like my food, so give me something that gives me that food.
Yeah, but not in my area, actually. I am okay with bringing food from other areas, and my area just stays cool.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. And now, the announcement segment. This is a segment dedicated to things we want you to be in the know. And now for this week's episode, here's your announcements. Let's now turn on to the announcements/news segment. And this week we're talking about the Android 15 Beta 2.2. Google pushed out another little update to version Beta 2. And we've talked about version Beta 2.1. And this week it's Beta 2.2. Unlike version 2.1 that only had one update, this one has 6 issues or whatever that they highlighted. And these are the things that got fixed. It says, fix remaining issues. We're creating a private space on a device for the first time. Removed app icons from the home screen or home screens if more than one home screen is present. Of course, that was the only one that was highlighted back on version 2.1, and it's still part of this new one. Now, number 2, fix an issue with the wallet role that prevented NFC payments from functioning in some cases. So if you were observing problems with your wallet not working, this one got fixed. Three, fix an issue where the app drawer didn't open when setting up. So if you were observing that, that also got fixed. 4, fixed an issue with NFC observe mode that prevented NFC payments from processing in some cases. It sounds like the other one above to me, but yeah, there's the word observe in here. So I have no clue as to what that means. Number 5, fix an issue that sometimes caused videos that were recorded using 10-bit HDR to have a green tint. So if you're sighted, looking at your video having that greenish looking tint, that thing got fixed. Number 6, and that's the last one, fix various other issues that were impacting system stability, interactivity, and connectivity. I like that word, interactivity. Those are the issues that were fixed with this Android 15 Beta 2.2.
What's with this Beta 2.2 garbage? Isn't it June? Shouldn't we be on Beta 3 by now? They should have just rolled these fixes into Beta 3 and given us that.
That's what I would have expected too. But, I hope we're not having that same debacle that we had back with Android 14 last year. You know how messy that thing was. So far, this hasn't been too bad, but, we've seen a couple point updates now with Beta 2. So I hope that we don't see that with Beta 3 as well. So I would like to believe sometime next week, that's this coming week, we would be seeing Beta 3. But if I were Google, like you said, I'll just hold off with these ones and just roll them into Beta 3. But no, we'll have to do it now, even though the following week we'll push out Beta 3.
I said Samsung people stay away of this.
Some people should stay away from this one. Well, they're staying away for sure. And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. We now move on to our next segment, and this is the Android Basics area. And we continue our journey through the Samsung One UI, and we bring you part 2 of the general management. And John will kick it off by giving us an overview of the part 2 of general management. John?
Welcome back to our continuing series on Samsung's One UI. We are still working our way through the settings, and more specifically, the general management settings. In the last installment, we covered languages. In this installment, we will be moving forward, mostly covering keyboard and mouse related settings, but we're going to start with date and time settings, which we have right here.
Date and time.
Going in here,
Date and time. Navigate up.
there's just a few
Button.
options.
Automatic date and time. Use the date and time provided by your network on. Switch. Automatic time zone. Use the time zone provided by your mobile network on. Switch. Set time zone based on location. Use your phone's location to determine the time zone. This may help if your mobile network sometimes provides the wrong time zone. Off switch. Use 24-hour format. 1 p.m. Off switch.
And those are all the options in here.
General management. Date and time.
Next,
Keyboard settings. English, US.
whichever is currently your default keyboard, you will have an option to go to that keyboard settings here. Mine is Gboard, that's why it says Gboard settings. But below this, you can choose your default keyboard.
Keyboard list and default. TalkBack Braille keyboard, Samsung keyboard, Google voice typing, Fudo voice input method, Gboard, and TalkBack Braille
But
keyboard.
going in here,
Keyboard list and default. Navigate up. Button. Default keyboard.
here's where
Gboard.
you can change your default keyboard.
All. Heading.
And then here is the list of all of your keyboards,
Samsung keyboard. English, US.
and where you can enable them or disable them. And then at the bottom below this list,
Keyboard button on navigation bar. On. Switch.
this is where you could choose whether you want the button to be visible to change input methods on the navigation bar. And then also,
Show button to hide keyboard. Off switch.
this is the back button that will be visible to back you out of the keyboard. Going back,
General management. Keyboard list and default. Physical keyboard. Not
so
connected.
below keyboard list, we have physical keyboard.
Physical keyboard. Navigate up.
We have a
Button.
few options in here.
Keyboard assistance. Heading. Show on-screen keyboard. Show the on-screen keyboard while a physical keyboard is being used on. Switch.
So if you want a little more screen real estate, you would turn this switch off.
Keyboard shortcuts. Show explanations of the keyboard shortcuts on the screen.
This will take you to a list of all the keyboard shortcuts if you want to know what they are.
Change language shortcut. Shift plus space, Control plus space, Left Alt plus Shift.
And you can go in here if you want to enable or disable these 3 shortcuts for changing language.
Customize keys.
Customize keys. I'll go in here to show you what you can do.
Customize keys. Navigate up.
And what we have here
Button.
is
Caps lock. Caps lock.
I'm going to go through these 4.
Control. Control. CMD. CMD. Alt. Alt.
So you can change any of these 4 to any of these 4. So caps lock, control, command, alt. Of course, command would also be the search key on a Chrome keyboard or the Windows key on a Windows keyboard. But if you're used to a certain layout and you want to change any of these keys to be another one of these keys, this is where you would go to do it. Below this,
ESC. ESC.
you could choose whether you want escape to be an actual escape key or just the back key, as if you did the back gesture or hit the back button.
App shortcuts.
And then here you can set up app shortcuts.
App shortcuts. Navigate up.
And in
Button.
here,
CMD plus C not set.
as you heard, it said CMD plus C. So there's a whole list of all the letters and what you want them to open as far as apps go. So CMD in this case, if you were using a Windows keyboard, would be the Windows key. So you could set, for example, if you hold Windows key and hit G, you could set it to open Google. If you held the Windows key and hit M, you could set it to open Messenger, and so on. Backing out.
Customize keys. App shortcuts. Reset.
And at the
Button.
bottom is a button to reset all the settings for the keyboard customization. And that was the last of the physical keyboard settings. So backing out of here.
General management. Physical keyboard. Not connected. Mouse and trackpad.
We have a couple of settings in here.
Mouse and trackpad. Navigate up.
Now you may
Button.
think you would never use a mouse and trackpad, but last time I used it, I'll admit it's been a while, but the last time I used it, the talkback focus would follow the mouse pointer. So as you moved the mouse around the screen, it would be similar to Explore by Touch. So it is possible to use it, and some people might find this easier in certain setups. So here are the options.
Pointer speed. Slow. Fast. 100%. Wheel scrolling speed. Slow. Fast. 0%. Enhance pointer precision. Make your mouse cursor move faster or slower depending on how fast you move your mouse on. Switch.
And we have,
Pointer size and color.
you can customize the size and color.
Primary mouse button. Left.
And then here you can customize what all the mouse buttons do.
Secondary button. Open contextual menu. Middle button. App defined function. Additional button 1. Back. Additional button 2. Forward.
So you can customize it to make things a little bit quicker for you. And that brings us to the end of what we're going to be covering today. In the next and final installment of the general management section, we will cover the rest of the settings in this area. But for now, I'll send it back to the crew for further discussion.
Thank you so much, John, for that preamble of the part 2 of our general management in Samsung One UI as we continue through these settings. Now, I really like this part, and that customization, I didn't know it was there, believe it or not, where you could go in. I'm talking about the keyboard now, where you can actually choose to use some command keys or, modify them and all of that. I didn't know that because, you know what, I don't use physical keyboards. Does any of you from time to time use a physical keyboard with their phone? Sally, do you do that? Or Karine or John, do you take advantage of this?
I've got a physical keyboard, but I didn't really dig deeper on that settings at all. I'm using the default ones, but it's a great thing to have those additions.
So I have a question for you, since you are a keyboard user, physical keyboard user. Maybe a few years ago, there was a bug where you wouldn't, you couldn't change the language when you are typing. So the shortcut keys to switch the language weren't working. So is it still there?
I mean, for me, it works. I mean, changing the language, it works for me fine. But before going to the physical keyboard, I'm normally using the Braille keyboard. So I need to go back to the virtual Samsung keyboard and set up the languages. And after all, it's going to work. If I'm using the I'm using the Braille keyboard and the physical keyboard, then it's having some troubles to write anything. It's getting really tough.
Yeah, but do you need to change the language from Samsung keyboard every time, or just
No,
you
just
set it?
just once.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. So it's fixed.
Yeah, I think.
It's interesting that sometimes these things appear, and then when they get fixed, there's no fanfare. You never know when they got fixed or whatever it is. It's just one of those things. Probably something that came along with version 6.1. Another thing you touched on, John, that I like, because like when I was traveling, I'm talking about the time and date area now, where that automatic time switching, if you travel to another time zone or whatever, that's a very nice feature. And then, of course, I was in Europe and, all that 24-hour thing. And I'm like, hey, no. So I went in there, I said, forget about this 24-hour thing. Give it to me in plain
You're
12-hour clock.
You're like, I don't want to have to do math every time I
No.
look at the time.
I hate math. And so it kind of threw me into confusion, 17, whatever. I'm like, what in the world? So I went into the time and date and said, no, turn this feature off. And I give me a good old 12-hour clock. I really don't like this 24-hour. But, you guys, Sally, do you use a 24-hour or you use a 12-hour clock?
Well, we use 24 hours, and when it comes to 12 hours, I'm always confusing. When it's 12, do you say AM or PM?
Well, it does say AM or PM. There's no
No,
confusion here.
I mean,
Oh, I know what he means, because it's backwards. Like 12
Yeah.
p.m. should be
yeah,
AM
exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's
That's the thing.
so it is backwards.
Yeah,
So
well, but
in
it was
here
messed up
in
from the get-go.
yeah
No
here
one ever
in
cared to fix it.
here in Turkey, at least when it's like 24 hours, when it comes to the midnight, it's 0.
Yeah.
We don't say 24 o'clock, we say 0. And after all, it's going up, so it's 23:59, and then it's 0, 0:08, 0:09. It goes like that.
Yeah.
I'll admit that makes much more sense. But
I think so.
when you grow up being used to the 12-hour, and then all of a sudden you have to start doing math, it's, as Warren would say, no bueno.
Well, and I'm clinging
So-
on to the imperial way of doing things back then. 1 o'clock. I like the sound of 1 o'clock or 2
So
o'clock.
the thing is, when someone tells me let's meet at 12 a.m., I'm confused. What is a.m. and what is 12 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Hey,
Yeah, but
if you're
nobody's
meeting
going to
somebody
tell
at
you to meet at 12, a.m. in the morning, in the nighttime, Sally, unless it's your squeeze.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
If somebody's
thank you,
meeting you at 12 a.m., you're probably looking forward to it.
Yeah. So if I say let's have lunch at 12 p.m. or 12 o'clock, of course, it's going to be in the afternoon, right? No one eats lunch at midnight, unless if it's at breakfast. I remember
that was a really bad confession. Then I messed it up. Somebody told me to let's meet at 12 a.m.
Yeah, like I said, if someone told you that, it will be your squeeze, going on a midnight adventure. But there was a casino here that we went to. They had like a midnight breakfast. So if you like breakfast at midnight, you can go for breakfast. Very interesting. It was during one of my little trips that we ran into such a thing.
To say something regarding this confusion that Saleh was talking about, just some people are confused about the PM and the AM, and they are just working in like arranging meetings and stuff. I remember once I was applying for a job and I was doing a training. Then I was contacted by them telling me that, hey, we have a meeting at 11 p.m., sorry. I was like, oh my God, 11 p.m.? Well, that's weird, but it's okay. I'm training and it's okay. I will show them that I'm loyal to the work, devoted to it. So I said, okay, yes, no problem. Then after that, I was just thinking, is it really normal to have a meeting at 11 p.m. Then I asked the person, okay, are we still on our meeting? Is it still the same? Then I was told, oh no, sorry, I meant 11 a.m. and already the time had passed. I was like, that's crazy, really. I mean, you are just arranging meetings and you don't know what is PM and what's AM.
That is absolutely crazy because, I mean, whether you use 24-hour clock or not, everyone knows that AM is the morning time. And so for someone to say we're having a meeting at 11 p.m., the dream dust is busy trying to creep into my eyes and cloud me up, you know?
At least it's not the time for work.
No, it's not the time for work. Absolutely not. At 11 p.m., a lot of people are asleep, unless, of course, you're a midnight owl or whatever. A lot of people at 11, will be having some dreams, whatever the case may be.
Not me, actually. 11 p.m. is still something early.
Well, I used to be like that. I would be up till like 12, 1 o'clock and things like that. But I think as I get a little bit older, I kind of have been going to bed a little bit earlier, maybe like 10, 11, sometimes 12, I'm still awake. I was reading till like 12:30 last night. Sometimes that happens, or else when I was younger, I was up late. So another thing here that sometimes people don't know about, because the keyboard is a very, very important. I look at two things on our phone as very important: the battery and the keyboard. These are the ones that we use most of the time, whether you're sending a text message or whether you're doing whatever, trying to search for something. The keyboard is an integral part of our lives as we use our phone. And that switching of keyboards, if you go in here, as John has shown, you could enable a keyboard that you want to pick from when you are typing something and you want to switch keyboards and all of that. Sometimes people forget and you buy a brand new keyboard and it's not showing up. Just always remember to go in here and make that change, make sure it's enabled, because if you don't enable it here, adding it to the list of keyboards that becomes available to you, you're not going to see that keyboard when you want to switch to it. And another thing that I also like that John mentioned here is how you go about choosing which one you want to make the default. For example, if you're not liking your Samsung keyboard, for example, and you want to change it to something else, be sure to just tap on the one that says Samsung keyboard and then go choose a different one, maybe Gboard, or is Grammarly usable now? It used to work and then they messed it up. I haven't gone back to it. Have any of you guys tried Grammarly keyboard? I used to like it, but then they messed it up. I don't know what's going on. John, did you try Grammarly? I know I have Microsoft Swift, both of them, the beta and the regular Swift key.
No, I've never tried Grammarly. I bounce back and forth between Samsung and Gboard, and of course the Braille keyboard. It's been a long time since I've tried a third-party keyboard.
So maybe I'm a keyboard junkie. I got, like the Kruma keyboard. I know Karen and I both used to like Kruma. I haven't tried Kruma keyboard in a long time. I would like to try it, see if it's working any better. Karen, do you still have Kruma?
I have never used it. You're confusing me with someone else. I used to like the blind accessibility keyboard.
I'm trying to just, rub it in on you.
I'm trying to remember if I know about it or not, actually.
Okay, no, I don't think you've.
Yeah,
you've
I've never
talked
even
about
heard of
Kruma.
it. I just
Yeah.
know what he was talking about. It's like, oh, there's this secret keyboard that only he and Kareen know about.
Yeah. We used to
Oh
send
my
messages
God.
to each other using this.
Exactly, using the Kruma keyboard.
But good name, by the way.
It's a beautiful name. You should try it. So what I like about Kruma keyboard is the adaptive nature of it. It changes color depending on the app that you're using. And that's one of the perks of Chroma keyboard. It's accessible. It wasn't. And back in the day that we had Google Plus, and that was when I wrote about it on there, and the guy went and fixed it. And some people came to my defense on it when I lambasted the developer for not making it accessible. So, going back to Google Plus days, and so I'm talking about 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And so, yeah, Chroma keyboard became accessible, but it's not quite as good as one would like it to be. I mean, it just had the basics down right, but most of the important things are not there.
Is it still in the Play Store?
Yeah, it's still on the Play Store. Look at Chroma, Chrooma, I believe that's how it's spelled, and you'll see it on the Play Store. Now you can get that and then send me a message from Chroma.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, I want also to test if Browse by Touch would work without it. I mean, if it would work without Browse by Touch.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting idea. Try it and see if it works with that Browse by Touch. I'm sure it would work. Maybe you'll get some of the functionalities that are not available with a screen reader.
Yeah, let's see. So I will check it out, and maybe you could also do a demo about it.
Yeah, maybe I should. Chroma, I'll check it again. I have it on my phone, and I'll switch to it later on and see if it's still accessible. You know how it is that sometimes they kind of get things messed up. So I hope this one hasn't been messed up. I'd like to give it another try. Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week. And now to close this week's episode is an App of the Week, and we're talking about an app called Audify. Here's a demo of Audify. Hi, for episode 183 App of the Week, this is demonstrating Audify. Audify. Audify, as the name suggests, is an app that reads things audibly. For today's demonstration, I'll be utilizing an older device in the way of the Pixel 4 from 2019, running Android 13 and Accessibility Suite 14.x. I am on the web page that is on the Play Store page of Audify, and will now tap on the About so we can hear the description of the app, and then I'll give you a quick tour of the app. I do want to mention that it has lots of settings, and the intention here is not to go into every one of those, but rather show you what they are so that you can go into these during your spare time. Let's though hear the About, that is the description of the app.
About this app, heading.
I'll tap.
Google Play Store. Audify read aloud web browser. Details, out of list.
And now I'll put my finger down and let it read the description of the app.
Web novel EPUB PDF TXT ebook reader text to speech reader TTS reader sleep timer. Audify is a text to speech app, web browser and PDF, EPUB, TXT reader app. Audify can read aloud TTS, web page text, HTML, and ebooks, whether it is novels, stories, or articles. Audify is designed to save your time and energy, and also protect your eyes. You can listen to the web page content while doing other things, such as commuting or doing exercises. You can learn more and get more knowledge. It can be switched to night mode, blue light filter mode, and the brightness can be dimmed. Font size can also be changed to become very large. It can translate languages, search in page, sleep timer, sleep story, and it has a couple of other useful features. Features: read aloud text-to-speech, TTS, ebooks, EPUB, PDF, TXT. Read aloud text-to-speech, TTS, web page text, HTML. Convert text to audio files, WAV. Double-click and start reading aloud from the position. Different voices can be selected. Translate. Adjustable speaking rate. Learn English and other languages, Spanish, French, German, etc. Blue light filter mode. Night mode. Adjustable screen brightness. User-defined bookmark categories. Font size can be enlarged or reduced. Search in page. Share URL and files with this app from other apps. Download files. Import files from folders in cloud server. Sleep timer, sleep story. Choose search engines. Bold text. Download web pages. Full screen. Hide images. Reader mode. Pronunciation correction. Playlist. Auto-click a button to read aloud next page. Notebook. Read aloud ebooks, EPUB, PDF, TXT. It can text-to-speech ebooks, EPUB, PDF, TXT. It supports PDF format that has pure text. Read aloud web page text, HTML. It can text-to-speech web page text, HTML format, on websites, such as news, books, magazines, novels, articles. You can listen to the text-to-speech voice without having to stare at the screen all the time. It protects your eyes. You can use it at any time, such as driving, doing exercise, or doing housework. Learn English and other languages. It can pause, resume, fast forward, fast backward, change speech rate. It is a good tool to learn English, Spanish, or other languages. Blue light filter mode. When reading web pages or e-books, it can reduce blue light. Adjustable screen brightness. You can also adjust the brightness to the most comfortable level to protect your eyes, so that the screen does not look dazzling. Font size is adjustable for easy reading. It can enlarge the font size and retain the original web page structure. User-defined bookmark categories. Find bookmarks faster. Conveniently download EPUB, PDF, TXT files from websites and read them aloud. Q. How to start reading aloud in the middle of a page. A. 1. Scroll the web page to the position you want to read, and press the play button. Or 2. Double-click the paragraph you want to read. Audify can read aloud from there. Q. It cannot read aloud when I use it for the first time. A. You can. 1. Swipe to close the app and reopen it. 2. Try a new web page. 3. Choose a different voice for reading aloud. 4. Turn off the phone and turn it on again. 5. Restore the phone to factory settings. Usually after doing the first step it will return to normal. Q. After the app is updated, an abnormal situation occurs. A. You can. 1. Swipe to close the app and reopen it. 2. Shut it down and restart. 3. Remove the app and download it again. Usually after doing the first step, it can return to normal. To be able to provide long-term maintenance and updates, Audify needs more users. If you like Audify, please 1. Give a 5-star rating. 2. Write a review. 3. Share. 4. Buy developer a cup of coffee. 5. Remove ads. We need your support. Thank you. With the sharing and rating of many people, Audify broke through 100,000 downloads. Thank you for your help. We still need your help to make Audify even better.
And that's the description of Audify. Let's now go back to the main page and install it.
Play Store. About this. Try new features before they're.
I scroll back up to the top and will now tap on Install.
Install button. 1%, 3%, 49%, 100%. Installing. Open.
There we are. We're done with installation and it's sitting on the open, and I'll now tap to activate.
Do you want to give permission to show a playback toolbar when screen is locked? OK, button, out of list.
We are now sitting on a page or on a screen that talks about whether or not we would like to give it permission. So we'll see the playback controls on the lock screen. And of course, I'm going to tap OK.
Allow Audify to send you notifications. Allow, button.
Now, I'm notorious for not allowing notifications, but just for giggles, I'll allow these notifications for this session.
Notification permission has been granted. OK, button.
And OK.
Audify. WebView. 1. Enter website name. 3. Or download EPUB, PDF, or TXT files from ebook websites and read it aloud. 2. Press this button or double tap the screen optional to read aloud the web page text.
That's what we heard. So we're in the main UI of the app, and it seems like it's reading what is on the screen here. Let's though go ahead and start from the top and see what buttons and controls we have, and we'll work our way down toward the bottom. Starting from the top left, let's get started.
Home page, button.
On the top left, we heard Home Page. Moving my finger to the right,
Enter keywords or URL, edit box.
we have an edit field where we could type in a page URL that we would like to read and things like that. I do want to mention here in passing that I have worked with this guy, or told him to make it compatible with TalkBack, because at first it wasn't very compatible, but now it's a joy to use with TalkBack. Now, moving on to the right,
Go to the web page or reload the web page, button.
that is, after typing in the URL of the page that you want, you can now tap on this to navigate to the page in question. The last item on the top right here is the menu.
Menu, button.
And there's the menu. Now, below the edit field is something that says History.
History.
And to the right of that history are a couple buttons. The one on the top, just below the menu.
Cancel, button.
To the right of the history, we have Cancel, just slightly above that, and then below that is Clear.
Clear all history, button.
That's what we have. Now, let's work our way toward the bottom, and passing the midsection of the phone, we come across Advertisement.
Easy to use healthcare apps. Link.
That's Advertisement right there. Now, below all of this advertisement are some buttons. Starting from the bottom left and going toward the right, here's what we got.
Previous, button.
Moving right,
Next, button.
right,
Read aloud or stop reading aloud, button.
right,
Reader mode or cancel reader mode, button.
and the last button on the bottom right,
Bookmark and file page, button.
Bookmark and File Page button. Now let's go back though to the top and tap on Menu. That's the button there on the top right corner.
Menu, button.
Here's that menu. Let's tap. Tapping on Menu, we come across,
Cancel, button.
and moving on down,
Decrease, button.
we hear decrease, meaning you want to decrease the brightness and things like that.
100%.
That's the brightness. Keep going.
Increase, button.
Increase, go down,
Decrease, button.
go down,
8.6%.
moving down,
Increase, button.
moving down.
Bright mode, button.
We have bright mode.
Bright mode.
As you can hear, it has like the buttons to the left, and then it has a text string to the right.
Bright mode, button.
Moving down,
Dark mode, button. Dark mode. Dark mode, button. Blue light filter, button.
keep going,
Blue light filter. Blue light filter, button. Sleep timer, button.
and
Sleep timer.
so if you're swiping, you'll find out that you'll hear those buttons on the left, and then if you swipe again to the right, you're going to hear the string of that button. The buttons themselves also already have what the button is with its text.
Add to playlist button.
So I'll just be moving on the column of the text instead of moving to the button, then moving my finger to the right and hearing the text, since all are the same. So here we go.
Add to playlist. Translate. Note. Convert to audio.
Moving down,
Hide image.
we hear hide image, and then to the right of it, some of them have toggles or switches to the right. For example, this one to the right.
Hide image is off button.
If you want to hide the images while you're reading, you could turn this on. Let's move on down. This time let's swipe for those of you who are swipers.
Silence mode button.
Swipe again.
Silence mode.
Swipe.
Silence mode is off button.
And you could tap here to change how you want it.
Select repeat mode button.
We have the repeat mode button
Not repeat.
and
Settings for repeating times button.
you could tap here for the repeats.
Auto reader button.
We come across auto reader.
Auto reader. Auto reader is off button.
If you want to tap here to make it automatically read, then you turn this on.
Auto start button. Auto start. Auto start is off button.
Keep going.
Toolbar button. Toolbar. Playback toolbar is on button. Copy all button. Copy all. Download button.
I'm just going through this as I indicated. If I were to go into each and every one of these, it will just make it extremely long. So in your spare time, you can go through these.
Download. Search button. Search. Bookmark button. Bookmark. Share button. Share. Block redirect button. Block redirect. Auto next page button. Auto next page. Hyperlink list button. Hyperlink list. Skip footer button. Skip footer. Hide ads button. Settings.
And then we have settings at the bottom. Let's tap on settings.
Audify. Back button.
As I indicated, it has lots and lots. So please take some time on your own and go through. But here's what we got in the settings.
Settings. Search engine. Bing.
Search engine is Bing. You could tap here to go choose the search engine that you would rather use.
Search engine button.
Moving on down.
If a word cannot be pronounced correctly, find a word of the same pronunciation or same meaning to replace it.
Next,
Skip words.
we have skip words. In other words, if you want some words to be skipped during the reading.
Skip words button. On, comma mode, switch. Highlight each short clause between commas or spaces instead of a full sentence. This feature only works with Google Voices that don't require network and Android 8 or above.
Next,
On, highlight each word, switch.
and that's the switch there to the right of it.
Highlight each word while reading aloud. This feature only works with Google Voices that don't require network and Android 8 or above.
Okay,
On, read aloud main text only, switch. Skip linked text and references if main text is detected. Off, skip more linked text, switch. When main text mode is on, skip even more linked text and user comments at the bottom of the page. However, it may skip some text that you want to read aloud.
next,
On, show main text in reader mode, switch. Skip linked text and references in reader mode if main text is detected.
next,
Off, download main text only, switch. Download main text only and skip linked text and references if main text is detected. On, skip symbols, switch.
next,
On, skip superscript, switch. Off, Skip URL text, switch. Off. Skip square bracket, switch. Off. Skip parentheses, switch. Off. Skip spaces between uppercase letters, switch. Off. Skip hyphen, switch. Skip line breaking hyphens. However, it may also skip other purpose hyphens. Waiting time.
Next.
Waiting time, button. Wait for web page to complete loading in auto-click mode and playlist mode.
And
On, double tap to read aloud, switch.
next.
Double tap to read aloud the tapped paragraph. On, highlight paragraph, switch. Highlight the paragraph with background color while reading aloud. Off, underline paragraph, switch. Underline the paragraph while reading aloud. Off, auto start, switch. Auto start reading aloud after a web page is loaded. Off, only read aloud in this language, switch.
In other words, if you would like to choose it to read in a certain language only, then you will go in here and choose what language you would like that to be. Here's what I'm talking about.
Select language, English.
You tap there and go choose the language.
Select language, button.
Next.
Always use this language to read aloud all pages.
Or you could choose to say, always read every page using this language.
Select voice.
Now we come to the voices.
Select voice, button.
And if we tap here,
Audify, back, button.
we have voices.
Search, edit box. EBU, EMBU, 39 of 212, in list, U, 40 of 212. L, Greek, 41 of 212. N, English, 42 of 212.
As you can see, there are lots of languages. So for example, if I just tap on English,
Audify, back,
like this
button,
voice?
out of list.
tapping on that, we heard, do you like this voice? In other words, we're now on a page where we could select the voice variants that we would like. And this also includes some of your locally stored TTS engines. Here's what I'm talking about.
Automatic N, 1 of 102, in list, 102 items.
Moving down.
1. eng_USA_ will a cappella group, 2 of 102.
So you could tap on it to hear what it will sound like.
Do you like this voice?
1. eng_USA_ will ACAP.
I'm going to scroll
2,
down.
6. 13. eng_USA CODEFACTORY, 14 of 102.
I think that's Code Factory there.
Do you like this
13.
voice?
eng
Now
underscore
scroll down some more.
20. 29. N_US Google Network, 30 of 102.
That's a Google
Showing
network.
items
Do you like this voice?
29.
Do you like
Now
this? Do
scroll
you like this
down.
voice?
40. N_.
Do you like this
40.
voice? Do you like this? Do you like this voice?
N_US TTS Audify.
Well, you understand what's going on, so I went back. Let's move on from here.
EO Esperanto, 43 of 212.
And let's go back.
Audify. Select voice, button, out of list.
Moving on down.
Select a voice to read aloud.
Next.
Download more voices.
Or you could download more voices.
Download more voices, button. Manually download more voices instead of waiting for system to automatically download.
Next.
Install more TTS engines, example. Install more TTS engines, example button.
And if you tap on that, it should show you the examples.
You can install more third-party text-to-speech engines such as Vocalizer on Google Play Store. Or search on web to get more text-to-speech engines. Once new text-to-speech engines are installed, their voices will be automatically imported to Audify.
Next.
Disable battery optimization.
Next.
Disable battery optimization button. 1. Battery optimization may prevent apps from reading aloud when the screen is off. Do you want to go to the settings page and turn off battery optimization? Please find this app, Audify, in the All Apps list, and disable its battery optimization. 2. If you want to use the voices that require network when screen is off, you may also need to find the app, Speech Recognition and Synthesis, and disable its battery optimization. 3. You may also need to reboot your device if the voices that require network are suddenly not working.
Next.
Notification permission. Notification permission button. Grant notification permission, so a playback toolbar can be shown when screen is off. Uninstall Speech Recognition and Synthesis. Uninstall Speech Recognition and Synthesis button. If speech rate or pitch is not working, search Speech Recognition and Synthesis on Google Play Store and uninstall and reinstall it. If the problem happens repeatedly, you can uninstall it only and use its original version. Do you want to go to Google Play Store directly?
In other words, if you're having problems with your Google TTS, for example, you may want to revert back to the older one or just uninstall and then reinstall or update it to see what's going on. That's what that is talking about.
Update Android System WebView.
Talking about web views here.
Update Android System WebView button. If this app crashes very often, maybe it is because the current version of Android System WebView is not stable. You might need to uninstall or update it and reboot your device. You might also need to update Google Chrome or stop supporting the embedded page.
Next.
Off Support Embedded Web Page switch.
Next.
Embedded web page is sometimes used by web page apps to show content, such as online learning websites or online text editor websites, are used by common websites to show related articles or ads. However, there is one Google System WebView version that does not support it and crashes if you enable this option.
Next.
Off Load all text at once switch. In a special case, web page might be disabled when screen is off for a long time, so the text-to-speech feature cannot get text from the web page. To solve this issue, load all text at once before reading aloud. However, it will make loading time very long if the web page is large.
Next.
On Pause when navigation switch. Pause and resume reading aloud when navigation voice comes. If it does not resuming speaking after the navigation voice stops, you can disable this function.
Next.
Delete cookies. Delete cookies button. On History scroll position switch. Store scroll position in browsing history. On Bookmark scroll position switch. Store scroll position in bookmark. On Reset brightness switch. Automatically reset brightness to system default value after app is back from background. Off Swipe to control brightness switch. Swipe up or down near the left edge of the screen to control brightness. Off Reset font size switch. Automatically reset font size to 100% when visiting a new website. Off Bold all text switch. On Ebook text align both sides switch. For ebooks, downloaded files, and reader mode, aligns each line of text to the left and right. Off Dark mode text pure white switch. On Add link to reader mode switch. Add link text to reader mode and downloaded file. On Link text reminder switch. When TalkBack app of the Android accessibility feature is enabled, remind you if the text is a link text while reading aloud.
In other words, while using TalkBack and you have a pure text in front of you and TalkBack is reading it, when it comes across a link, it will let you know that it's a link. Next.
On Click link text button switch.
Next.
When TalkBack app of the Android accessibility feature is enabled, show click link text button.
In other words, it will show you that it's a link, as I said earlier, and you should be able to tap on that link to activate it.
Off Always show all toolbar, switch. On, always show bottom toolbar, switch. On, show status bar at top, switch. On, large button mode, switch. Off, allow pop-ups, switch. User guide. User guide, button. About Audify. About Audify, button. Share this app. Share this app, button. Rate this app. Rate this app, button. Remove banner ads. Remove banner ads, button. Remove banner ads at the bottom of the screen such as the history page and bookmark page. This is not an ad blocker, so after paying you will still see ads from all websites.
In other words, if you're reading a web page, for example, and the web page has ads, you will see the ads at the bottom there, but this does not mean that you are not removing the ads from within the main UI of the app. For example, when I open up the app and going through those buttons, we saw some ads there. If you choose to pay to remove ads, those ads there in the main UI of the app are not going to be there. That's what that is.
Restore purchase.
There's a restore purchase.
Restore purchase, button. If you have already bought the products and you reinstall the app, please restore purchase. Buy developer a cup of coffee. Buy developer a cup of coffee, button. Give a tip to developer. Your support can make Audify even better. Contact us. Contact us, button. Software version 8.1.47.
And that's the last item. Now let's go tap on that remove ad and see how much it would cost you to go pro.
Remove banner ads. Audify. Remove banner ads. USD $14.99.
Tapping on remove banner ads, we're told, is $14.99.
Cancel, button.
And there's a cancel there. And
OK, button.
OK to the right of it. Tapping that should take you to the Play Store, for example.
Remove banner ads. Audify read aloud web browser. Current price $14.99 plus tax. Google Play Store. One tap buy, button.
And there I am on the Google Play Store where I could buy to remove those banner ads. And now, before bringing this to a close, let's go ahead and take a look at how you go about importing an existing file, or in this case, importing a book. What we need to do is tap on that last button at the bottom right, and that will be the import and bookmark page. Here's what I'm talking about.
Bookmark and file page, button.
Tab.
Audify. Back, button.
Sorry, there's my cat. We are now on that page where we can import a file or a document. On the top, we've got some buttons. Starting from the left, we got
Back, button.
back and moving right.
Bookmark and file.
Moving right.
Import or export, button.
There's the import or export. If we take a look at this item,
Actions. Import bookmarks, in list.
you could import bookmarks
Export bookmarks.
or export bookmarks. And I'm going to go back.
Audify. Import or export, button, out of list.
Next,
Sorting, button.
it's the sorting, and then the last button that we want to take a look at
Import file, button.
is the import file. We go ahead and tap.
Recent. Show roots, button.
And you could tap on show roots and go choose the folder that contains the item you want to import. Or simply, if you have opened recent items, you could find it here. In my case, I have a recently opened file, and that will be a book by Tecumseh William Sherman.
Memoirs of General William T. Sherman.
And I
EPUB,
just simply
June
tap
6,
on it.
Audify. File is copied to download folder.
And
Memoirs of
now
General William T. OK. Button.
I tap OK.
Audify. Import file. Button.
And the file has been imported.
Memoirs of General William T. Sherman. EPUB, 854.67 kilo.
And I could tap on it.
Battery optimization may prevent apps from reading aloud when the screen is off. Do you want to go to the settings page and turn off battery optimization?
I'm going to
Please
cancel for
find this
now.
app. Cancel. Button. Audify. Bookmark and file page. Button. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere at no cost and with.
And you could just start reading from here if you want.
Pause.
This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere at no cost and with almost no restrictions.
I just double tap to stop it. And now that we're on this page, you can also change another voice if you want to change it to a different voice. You could have the change TTS engine found near the bottom, but if you've hidden that, then you'll need to tap on the menu near the top right and go tap on the voice. For instance, in my case, I have hidden that, and so now I'll tap on menu.
Menu. Button.
And scroll down all the way to the bottom and tap on settings.
Settings. Audify. Back.
And scroll down and tap on voices.
Select voice. Button.
Tap here.
Audify. Back. Button. N. English. 42. Audify. Back. Button. Out of list. Showing items 88.
And the voice I have currently running is the Sarah Proc voice.
91. N. Saraproc 92 of 102.
If I tap there, that's another variant of that voice.
91. N. Saraproc.
And I'll just choose one
Showing
here at random.
84. N underscore O Google 85 of 102. 67. N underscore GB Google 68 of 102.
Let's try this.
Do you like this voice?
And if you like the voice you've chosen, then simply tap on the done near the top right.
Done. Button. Win. Audify.
And now if you want to see a list of your files, for example, if you have other files that you've imported or books that you've imported, then you simply tap on that button at the bottom right, and that's the import and bookmark file.
Bookmark and file page. Button.
You tap,
Audify. Back. Button.
and you're now back to the list of files.
Memoirs of General William T. Sherman. EPUB.
And if you want to delete a file, for example, or you want to edit the title or whatever, simply long press on it. For example,
Memoirs of General William T. Sherman.
and now we have some toolbars that pop up near the top.
Delete. Button. Out of
Delete.
list. Edit. Button.
Edit,
Share. Button.
share,
Menu. Button.
and the menu that we saw earlier. That's how you go about managing the importation or the removal of items that you've imported. And that will conclude the demonstration of Audify, Audify. Thanks for listening. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. And with that demo of Audify, we come to the end of this week's episode. We appreciate you guys listening to us. And for the time being, here's Austin giving you information on how to get hold of us.
To contact us, you can send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. You can join a mailing list by sending an email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. You can join our Telegram, Facebook, Discord, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The links for everything will be at the bottom of the show notes and also in the video description of the YouTube channel. And also the links are in the websites panel of the YouTube channels.
Thank you so much, Austin. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. And from me, it's goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.